Welcome to the Free Libraries walkthrough on applying for Phase 2 of the City of Philadelphia's Emergency Rental Assistance Program. This program is for those who have lost income because of COVID-19 and need help paying rent. To complete this application, you will need the information and documents that appear on the screen. These include information about your landlord, yourself, your lease, and documents about any income and assistance that you receive. You will also need to notify your landlord that you are applying. After you finish the application, you will give them your applicant ID so that they will be able to fill out their own application to complete the process. So to get started, type phlrentassist.org into the address bar on your browser and press enter. You will arrive on this page. Before we start the application process, let's make sure you can navigate this website and check the eligibility requirements. On the right side of the screen, there are translation options for this website. You can click this box to see and/or select one of the available languages. You may also select Español at the top of the page to view the site in Spanish. If you are having trouble reading the screen, you may click this blue accessibility button on the upper right-hand side of the screen. Here are options for enlarging the font to increase the size of the text, highlighting links, and more. Click the plus or minus buttons to make the text larger or smaller. When you are done, click Close. Your first step for the application process will be to click on Phase 2. Phase 1 applications were closed in May, but applicants who applied in that phase are still eligible for Phase 2. After clicking Phase 2, you will arrive on this page. Be sure to read and review the eligibility requirements for rent assistance before proceeding. Below is a chart showing household and income requirements required to meet eligibility for the program. If you'd like more information about the program or eligibility requirements, you can click this link to the FAQ page. When you are ready to begin your application, click Apply Now. On the next page, you'll select whether you are applying as a tenant or a landlord. Because this walkthrough is for the tenant application, we're going to select Tenant. Please note that to apply, tenants must complete and submit a full application, including income documentation. After submitting the application, the tenant will be given an applicant ID that must be sent to the landlord. At this point, you can click here to begin the application form. Below this is an option to contact a representative for help with the application. Let's click to begin. You'll land on this page, which will again review the basic application requirements. At the bottom of the page is a link to the application form. Note that you should check this box if you're being assisted by a housing counselor. Then click the link to start an application. Now we're on the application form page. The first section asks for your landlord's information, including name, address, phone number, and email address. If you do not have this information, you can try checking your lease, as it is usually included on there. You can also contact your landlord and ask. The next section is for your household information as the leaseholder. The first box asks for your name and any other people who live in your house and whose names are on the lease. Then you'll fill out your address, phone number, and email. Input your lease effective dates by clicking the calendar icon on the side and choosing a date on the calendar pop-up. You can check your lease for effective beginning and ending dates. Then select the number of permanent residents in your household. This means people who live with you and whose names are on the lease. Then fill out your monthly rent payment amount. You'll be asked for the dollar amount of missed rent payments. Note that this only applies to missed payments that have occurred after March 1st. Then select the months where you have missed payments between March 2020 and the current month. The next set of questions, which deal with race, ethnicity, and sex, are optional. They are asked by the federal government in order to monitor compliance with equal credit opportunity and fair housing, because the funding for this program is provided in part by the Federal CARES Act. You do not have to answer these questions if you do not wish, and it will not affect your eligibility for rental assistance. After this, you'll begin a section that asks questions about your lease agreement and the ways in which you handle rent payments. If you split rent with other leaseholders, click Yes, then fill out each person's name and share of the rent in the space provided here. If you are the only person on the lease, click No. You will not need to fill out this section. The next section is about your employment status and source of income. The first question asks if you've been unemployed as a result of COVID-19 after March 1st. Below, you'll select a date of separation, if applicable, using the calendar pop-up. If you've had your hours reduced but are still employed, be sure to mark Yes on the next question. The next question asks if you have the documentation necessary to prove your current income earnings or your unemployment claim status. Select Yes if you have these documents. You'll be asked to provide them by uploading them on the following page. The last question on this page asks you to ensure that you will provide any updated information on your income status if you are accepted into the program. Finally, in the set of boxes, you can electronically sign the application with your name, social security number, and today's date. When you are finished filling this out, click Submit Application on the bottom right. You will then be directed to the second page of the application, where you will be able to submit your documents. The first section of this page contains a chart with income requirements. Under these, you will need to read and acknowledge the terms and conditions of applying. Please ensure that you read, understand, and check the box acknowledging this statement. Once you have done this, the document submission section should appear. The first document you will be asked to submit is a third-party proof of residency. This can include a utility bill, an ID with your current address, or a pay stub. To upload a document, click Select File. This will open a window of the File Explorer on your computer. Navigate to the folder that contains the documents you'd like to upload and then select the document. Here we'll go with Sample Bill. Click Open to upload the document. Now the file should upload to the application. You'll know this is finished when green text appears to the right of the file name that says Upload Successful. Before you upload, note that this application accepts PDF file types, along with most image file types. The next section asks for any documentation you have about public benefits, insurance benefits, and pension benefits that you might receive. This includes unemployment compensation. For any month in 2020 you've received these, click Yes. If you have no benefits to report on a given month, click No. If you click Yes, you'll be prompted to upload a document showing the amount of benefits you received on that month. The next section asks for income received in different months in 2020. For example, if you had a job in January through March and were laid off in April, you would select Yes for each month you received income from that job. Then you'd upload the pay stubs or any documentation that you might have of the amount you made monthly. For months you did not make any income, select No. Now you're ready to submit your application materials. On the bottom right of the page, click Submit Application Materials. You will now be directed to the confirmation page, where you will be issued an applicant ID. Make sure you save this number so that you can check the status of your application in the future. In addition, this ID number will need to be shared with your landlord so that they will be able to complete their side of the application process. You can direct them to the link provided on the page here. If you need to update your application with more information or documentation, you can access it by visiting the home page and clicking the Ask for Help option. Then, after filling out your information and your applicant ID, indicate in the message/comment box that you would like to access your application. Within several days, you will receive a link in your email which will grant you access to edit your application. If you would like to check the status of your application, you can visit the home page and click here. On this page, enter your applicant ID after selecting the Phase 2 option. You should see your application status. We hope this video on applying for Phase 2 rental assistance from the City of Philadelphia was helpful to you. This video was created by the Free Library's Hotspot program and is one example of the many ways in which the Free Library is connecting Philadelphians to the resources they need. To learn more, visit freelibrary.org.